Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. It's always good to have friends in from Trinity Theatre Company. Sean Boyd, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Sean is the artistic director, chief cook and bottle washer, and everything in between for the theater company. How long have you been in business?
Well, 13 years. 13
goodness.
years since high school.
And how about since your new found location, relatively newfound location in Mission Valley?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I think it's been fantastic to meet so many new people just walking by the mall, coming by and saying, wait, there's a theater here? And what a beautiful sight. And hopefully now, after this podcast, everyone's going to know, yes, we are in fact there.
Yes, no, that's absolutely true. We're going to talk about the play, Annie Jr., and also about the Seussification of Romeo and Juliet. We'll talk to Vivian White about that, but we got a really cool guest joining us, Ava Farmer. You are a new act. How long have you been acting?
About 6 years.
6 years. Okay, very, very good. So you were elementary school when you started acting?
Yes, third grade.
Why'd you get into acting? What excites you about acting?
So I've always loved the stage. I always used to dance when I was younger, and when I saw my first musical in when I was in elementary school, so before third grade, I always knew I want to do that. I wanted to be a part of that because they always just looked so like a group, and they were all friends, and I really wanted to be a part of that.
What was your first musical? What was it? You remember?
Seussical Jr.
Okay, very good. Seussical Jr. Okay, very, very good. And did your parents, were they in theater? Did they love theater? Were they doing other types of things that interested you?
No, my mom was a dancer, and my dad, he's like a musical. He's like a guitarist. So they've both been on stage before.
So, but both in the artist. That's great. So, Vivian White, talk about your journey into this beautiful world of visual and performing arts, and theater, and everything else.
I started when I was pretty young, too. The first show I ever actually saw was a performance of Seussical. And after that, I told my parents that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I've been acting since I was about 6 years old.
My goodness.
21 now, just graduated UCSD's theater program.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 2024 spring. And since then, I've been working with Trinity. It's been a really lovely journey to go from just being an actor to kind of transitioning into the bigger world of theater, the admin side, the education side, the directing side. And I've enjoyed kind of expanding as I've gotten older. No,
I think that's great. So, Sean, you work with these two talented folks over here. You work with a lot of talented people. Talk a bit about Annie Jr. You're directing it.
Yeah, I think Annie is just one of those perfect shows that's been around for decades for a reason. It's fun, it's meaningful, it has a very real story, but at the end of the day, it's about joy. It's about levity. It's finding hope in a hopeless world. So I'm excited. I think that actors like Ava are uniquely up for the challenge of bringing that truth while also bringing that fun.
So where's it going to be held?
So we're performing this one at Madison High School.
Okay.
We as much as we love our Mission Valley space, sometimes we just need a few extra seats.
Oh, okay. So what are the dates?
We run Annie Jr. March 21st through the 23rd.
Okay. So Ava, is Annie Jr. any relation to Annie, the play? Or is it exactly like Annie? Or sort of like Annie?
I think it's sort of like Annie. I watched the movie for the first time like a couple of days before the show actually began. And I'd say it's pretty similar in most aspects, but I feel like they are missing some parts, but overall it's really great.
Right, exactly. So what role do you play?
I play Rooster.
Okay, and talk about your role.
So he's like a special character. He's the comedic relief, but he's also this really like sly villain. And I don't think I'm like him at all. So I really have to disconnect myself to become him. So
how do you do that?
I work on finding out his background because he's grown up very differently than I have. So I think that everything that he does kind of has ambition to it. He does everything for a reason. So
Right, exactly. So now you've got to sit there and say, it's not quite like me, so I got to get in this mode. Then once you're done with the rehearsals, how do you get out of that mode and back into the Ava Farmer role without the actor or actress?
I feel like it's not too hard to get back into me because it's just so natural. So, yeah.
All right, that makes sense. We're chatting with Ava Farmer. She's an actor in Annie Jr. The play is going to be at Madison High School, March 21st to the 23rd as part of Trinity Theatre Company. It's directed by the artistic director of Trinity Theatre Company, Sean Boyd. Also chatting with Vivian White, director for Seussification of Romeo and Juliet. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlossberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County, whether it's the arts, whether it is literacy, whether it is food insecurity, they are always with you shoulder to shoulder. So Vivian, talk about Seussification of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, this is a super exciting piece to be working on. I would say in the short amount of time I've been directing and not acting, I've leaned more towards political pieces, and this piece is not that. But I found a lot of joy in just having a group of adults who are willing to play together for the sake of having fun and creating a space where that's acceptable. I think once you grow out of that education world, there's this pressure to kind of get more serious about acting in a way that sometimes takes the play out of it a little bit. And it's been lovely to work with a cast that is so open to play and to work on a script that is a more modern adaptation of something that is such a cultural touchstone, and kind of seeing the way in which Romeo and Juliet is envisioned through another set of eyes, because it's one of my personal favorite plays. I think it's a common personal favorite. And so to tell it through a different light, to tell it through the lens of comedy, it's just brought a lot of joy to a lot of the people working on the team. And I'm proud to be a part of that.
Right, so that's the 14th to the 23rd of February, if I'm not mistaken, and that's going to be at the Trinity Theater, correct?
Yes, we just announced our extension. So it's actually now going to run February 14th through March 2nd.
Wow.
We opened up our third weekend of tickets, I believe, at the start of this week.
So without being, and you can tell me, Drew, that's a spoiler alert. We're not going to talk about it, and I'm fine with that. How many Seuss characters? Are there any Seuss characters involved?
0 Seuss characters.
Okay.
All of the Romeo and Juliet characters are present, but they're slightly Seussified versions of themselves.
Seussified versions. Okay, very good. That's a good tease in that area. So, Sean, obviously you guys have so many diverse types of performances that you put on and so forth. What excites you, about Annie Jr. that Ava's doing, and also about Seussification?
Yeah, really, truly, both of these shows right now just really capture a sense of fun at a time that we need it the most. It's dynamic because it brings so many people together. Annie Jr. is one of our largest youth casts ever, with 38 plus two student technicians. So we have a rounded full cast of 40.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And then and Seussification of Romeo and Juliet is also one of our largest teams, with 13 actors on stage plus an additional tech team of 8. So just in those 2 shows alone, we've got 60 plus people hanging out, making theater happen.
So how? Yeah, I mean, literally, well, like a coach, that's got to coach a football team, of course. But the difference is you've got 40 people that are actually playing. They have a lot of places where people sit on the bench. They don't have to play in all that business. At any one time, how many people are on stage? We'll start with Annie Jr.
Oh, all of them.
Just all of them.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that we believe in the ensemble tradition is if you're not being used, we're doing something wrong as the director. We want everyone to be fully engaged and integrated into the process.
So I assume that's the same with Seussification. Is that right?
Yep, we have quite a few moments where we got all 13 on stage.
So, wow, that's crazy. Talk about the difference of Vivian. This is your first directing, is that correct? No?
Yes, this would be my first professional directing.
Yeah.
I did some throughout college. My
Right.
honors thesis was in directing.
Okay. So what's the difference?
I think throughout this process, I have had a lot more collaboration with the actors than I initially expected. I think as a director, when you first get a script, you obviously have a vision that almost plays out in your head like a movie while you read it. And they have just brought so many wonderful comedic choices that didn't even cross my mind to the table. And workshopping those choices and finding the difference in everybody's comedic timing and pacing and how that lives in them has been really wonderful.
Right. I mean, obviously, you got to look at it through the actors and actresses' eyes and not necessarily your eyes, because they bring a different perspective in that area. So that's you got to train yourself for that. So let me ask you this, Ava, ever think about becoming a director? Have you directed anything? I shouldn't even say that. Yeah.
I've never directed anything, and I haven't really thought about directing everything because I prefer to just be on the stage and really show myself up there.
Right. Very, very good. What do you think your greatest skill is? Are you you're good at getting into the character? Are you good at what do you sing? Do you dance? Do you do anything other than just wonderful acting?
Yeah. I think I'm good at the memorization part. I feel like I have that down pretty easily. But I also think I've grown a lot in my singing. I used to have some problems with it, but I feel like that's one of my stronger assets now.
Do you sing at this play?
Yes.
Okay. How many songs do you sing?
I sing in all of them, but my song is Easy Street.
Is it okay? And is there music with it, or is it a cappella?
Music with it.
Okay. And what type of music? Is it full band? Is it guitar? Is it everything?
I guess everything.
Yeah,
They're tracked music, so the kids actually get to hear the accompaniment tracks as they're rehearsing and practicing, so that they can really refine and perfect.
Yeah, that's good. What has been the biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is getting into the character, just because he's so different than anything I've ever done before.
Right. Exactly. What have you learned most about yourself since you took this role?
I've learned that I can play the villain. I don't always have to play the happy character or the silly character.
Well, there you go. That's good. When we come back from break, we're going to continue the conversation with Ava Farmer. She's an actor in the Annie Junior play. It'll be at Madison High School, directed by Sean Boyd, the artistic director for the Trinity Theatre Company. Also, continue our conversation with Vivian White, director of Seussification of Romeo and Juliet, now extended February 14 to March 2nd. That will be playing at the Mission Valley Mall, where the Trinity Theater is. We come back from break, we're going to talk more about theater in general, how important it is for where we are in society. Sean knows that I talk about this all the time when he's on. Of course, obviously, want to chat about getting tickets to this performance. And then, Ava, I'm going to let you think about this during the very short break. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 20 years? All right? Does that sound good?
Good.
We're going to be right back with our friends from the Trinity Theatre Company. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, brought to you by the very cool people of Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things. You're living in San Diego County. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification. is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are back with the Cool Cats from Trinity Theatre Company. Sean Boyd, artistic director of the company and the director of Annie Jr. Play will be March 21st to the 23rd, playing at Madison High School. An actor in the play, we got Ava Farmer. Her mom is going to join us in a few seconds and give her thoughts on this. And then Vivian White, the director of Seussification of Romeo and Juliet, playing February 14 to March 2nd at the Trinity Theatre Company in Mission Valley. So let me turn this over to Naveen Farmer. Naveen is Ava's mom. How proud of you with this very talented daughter of yours and, of course, actress.
Hi, Drew. Thank you. I am immensely proud of my daughter, just watching her shine and beam on stage and do what she loves and what she's passionate about. I get to live or relive through that. And it's really a remarkable experience to watch the building of the entire production and seeing the cast and the camaraderie that they all share on the stage during the rehearsals and after. It's glorious. It's an incredible experience.
Right. So you've been in this. You're a dancer. Are you still dancing?
At home, I do.
Okay, very good. Were you part of theater companies at all?
I was part of a troupe, but mostly what I did was just solo dancing. So right. I love the spotlight. Right.
Good. So, Ava's been, acting since for 6 years now, I think she said, right, in that aspect. And obviously, and your husband's a musician, he's a guitarist, or does he do that just for fun?
So he was in a band back in the day. He's in a couple of bands now, but they don't perform. He's a guitarist, a bassist. He builds them from scratch also. Goodness. So he's pretty artistic, yeah. So
you guys are totally immersed in this. What have you seen? We asked Ava how she's grown since she's done this and gave a great response. What have you seen as a mom through your eyes on what Ava, maybe starting even 6 years ago, to what she's doing now?
It's been an incredible journey. There's so much growth and the confidence that comes from just being on stage and performing and presenting in that way. It bleeds into her personal life too, so academically as well as just being around with her friends. I mean, it's a phenomenal experience to be standing in front of a stage in the spotlight. You have an audience and the focus is on you. So it definitely is just a great building and growth experience.
So let me ask you this, Naveen. Are you more nervous or do you think Ava's more nervous? I think you're more nervous when you see her perform. Maybe not, huh? I know as a parent, when I was watching my daughter do stuff, I mean, my goodness, gee, what are you talking about, Dad? I got this thing covered. I go, okay.
She's definitely not less nervous than I am. There's always the jitters, but the curtains open and then you feed off your audience as well, right? And I learned that as a performer myself, but then you also feed off of the performers. When they're comfortable on stage, and I tell you this cast is, and I've seen them in productions over the years, the same group, they just make it fun. So when they're having fun, you as an audience are having fun.
Right, that's great. And so Ava, you had mentioned that one of the things that you're real good at is memorizing. Your mom sort of alluded that sort of ties into the academics. Has this helped you being acting in your academics because you're so good at memorizing stuff, or not?
I think yes, it has, because maybe it's just me, but I feel like I don't have to study as much as other people. And I feel like I just retain the information more than other people do and easier.
Yeah, there's no question about it. What amazes me about, actors and actresses and directors that, you got 40,000 things you got to be thinking about, for God's sake. And if you overthink it, you're probably going to miss it. I imagine in that area. Sean, talk about how proud of you are of Ava, or everybody that you work with, of course. But that you must be really proud.
Oh, it's a dream. I'm I'm a credentialed teacher. I've taught in the classroom,
right.
and doing this extracurricular work. I think it's there's just something really invigorating about it. Students like Ava, they're making the active choice to be here. They could do anything with that time, and they've chosen this. They've chosen this particular activity, and with that, you'd hope that they commit, and they always do. I think that our kids at Trinity don't shy away from some of the quote-unquote nerdier parts of theater. I think that they all know Stanislavski's name at this point from our rehearsal processes. And I think that's magnificent. I think that if you're going to be here, if you're going to make that commitment, let's make the most of it.
Well, listen, you know how I feel about what you guys do, Sean, and all of the theaters in town, and especially when you have folks like, Ava and Vivian, that there are leaders in the future. They're going to correct whatever mistakes that we need to be correcting in that aspect. Everyone knows what we're talking about on it. And, of course, to provide a platform where you can actually embrace, people that don't look like you and don't act like you. But heaven forbid, we have the same goals. And isn't that something? Makes the world a better place. And we need to start doing that post-haste in that area. We're chatting with our friends from Trinity Theatre Company, Sean Boyd, Artistic Director, and also the Director of Annie Jr., Ava Farmer. She is in Annie Jr. and the Director of Seussification of Romeo and Juliet, Vivian White, and joined by Vivian Farmer, Ava's mom. So here you are, Vivian. This is your first professional directing job. Explain your nervousness, if you have any, on the very first performance as an actor in a play, now your very first directing. Is it the same or different?
I would say it's very different. I started acting when I was very young, and I think with that just comes the natural nervousness of getting up in front of a group of people when you haven't done it yet. Directing's a lot different because the audience is not going to see your face on opening night up on stage. But I think most of my nervousness comes from hoping that the actors walk out of this feeling like they had a good experience. I think I'm pretty confident the audience will have a good time, but my hope is that all 13 of our actors and our creative team walk away from this feeling like it is a project they were happy to sign on to. And I think as a director, that's the thing I value the most, is how do you run a rehearsal room? How do you create a space, especially for adults, to come in and engage in the arts?
Yeah. Well, that just comes from experience. I'm sure you're going to do great right out of the gate on this. So forth. I know you'll come back on our show when you're doing other Trinity Theater performances as well. And we'll ask you that question. Do you remember when you came on the show a couple of years ago and did X, Y, and Z? Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I didn't know all the stuff that I know now. And then that'll happen. Sean, shout out when people can get tickets and when they can see these two wonderful performances.
Absolutely. Everything is live on our website at www.trinityttc.org. And I just want to say, right now, we need the local community more than ever. We've talked about the 60 amazing people that live in San Diego that are currently participating, but there's 2 million plus in the city of San Diego. So come on down. We've got a space for you. We need our local community.
That's good. So how do they get to, what's the website?
Yeah, www.trinityttc.org.
Okay, before I turn it over to Ava and her mom for any final comments, how about you, Vivian? What would you like to say?
If you need a laugh, come see Seussification. It will be the laugh you're looking for.
We all need laughs. We all need laughs on this. Ava, what do you want to say?
Come see Annie if you want a really great performance.
I think that's great. Okay, and Naveen, as a mom of this wonderful actress, what are your comments?
Come out and support. We need the audience. Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds great. Trinity Theatre Company, Sean, it's always a pleasure. Love the guests that you bring on. Very full of vibrancy and energy, which we need more than anything. Trinity Theatre Company. Goes see Annie Jr. and also Seussification, Romeo and Juliet. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 19th year, brought to you by the very great people of Mission Fed Credit Union of 60 years plus, doing great things. We're living in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.